Hello everyone and welcome to the Movie Fanatics. My name is Brannock. Not again. Wait. Have you ever had a tradition? Because I have. Every morning I eat breakfast and every night I go to sleep. And I guess I have another tradition. Making a video every time I do a show. I'm sorry. I was in a musical of Madagascar. Please take me seriously. But it was great. If you don't know, the story is about a lion, a zebra, a hippo, and a giraffe that break out of the Central Park Zoo and go to Madagascar. That's me. Yeah, I was Melman the giraffe. It was great. I got to name a bunch of medical conditions and overreact about a lot of minor inconveniences. To start, we need to talk about Camp Rock. Again? Imagine you or me, backstage of Camp Rock's tech. You've just been informed by your fellow cast members that auditions for the next show were due that night. You respond by vomiting a little bit. I thought I still had a little time after Camp Rock was over before I needed to worry about auditions, but no. They were due before Camp Rock was over, so when I went home, I hastily submitted one. Luckily, I had a song ready, and I quickly learned a monologue I was already familiar with, so we're good. And somehow I got a call back from Madagascar. Of all the shows I could have chosen to audition for, I went with Madagascar, pretty much because the director and choreographer were the same from Camp Rock. And Madagascar interested me the most out of all the options, but not a lot. The Art Center was doing Tuck Everlasting. I read the book in 3rd grade and loved it. Unfortunately, it was a play, not a musical. So the callback went well, and if I can remember correctly, all, or at the very least most of the people there got cast. The show was going to be pre-recorded just like Camp Rock, and you could buy a ticket to watch the live stream a week later. The show was also going to be double cast. That's right. 2 separate casts, 2 separate shows, 2 separate streams. I was in cast A and was surprised to see that I was a main character. I was expecting to be like a lemur or something. There were 2 casts of 10. I recognized a few of the names on the list, but most of them were new. In fact, most of the people I knew were in the other cast. Bummer. As always, I was being stupid. My cast was amazing, and with that being said, I think we need to just get into the show. The first rehearsal, we were sitting in a circle and reading the script. We started by introducing ourselves and saying what animal we played. I thought that was funny. But yeah, after that, we sat in a circle and read the script. And this is the first time I actually enjoyed it. The last 2 times, I was just kind of sitting there listening. For Nicholas Nickleby, I had, what? Four lines? For Camp Rock, I had no lines. This time I had a lot of lines. Really, everyone had quite a few lines, or at least a lot to do. If you weren't playing one of the 4 main animals, you were playing multiple characters, which meant a lot of things to do total. No matter who you were, you got to be on stage a lot. But there was something interesting about rehearsals. Their length. They were 1 hour and 15 minutes instead of 2 hours. That meant we were really rushed a lot of the time. We were rushed to finish the script. We couldn't even choreograph one big dance in one rehearsal. We had to split it up, which is really weird. We started by, of course, blocking the first scene. What happens in the first scene is that it takes place in the zoo, and there's a big musical number that introduces the 4 main animals and the penguins. My part is about how I'm tired and sick. The director told me to start out asleep and then to sing my part as I'm waking up and standing up. The first song is really the only time I get to sing by myself. I get 2 little parts dedicated to me. Cool. Really, if you were Gloria or Melman, you didn't get a lot of solo singing compared to Alex or Marty, which was fine by me. We were, of course, allowed to use our scripts for the first half of the rehearsals, but I didn't really memorize my lines at home until we blocked the scene. I found it really hard to memorize what I was supposed to say when I couldn't think of what I was doing in the scene. So when it came to the last couple scenes, I didn't have my lines 100% down, but once we blocked it, I did. So rehearsals were fun, but they felt so quick. Probably because they were. We had to split up the time so that the other cast could also get 1 hour and 15 minutes. There's a scene in the movie where Alex has a dream about how much he wants steak once they get to Madagascar, and in the movie it's just a 20-second scene, but in the musical, it's an entire song. I believe that it's the first big dance we choreographed. Sure, the first song was the first song we officially choreographed, but those are just kind of small dances instead of one big dance. Only a couple characters do them rather than the entire group, so Steak was the first real big one we did. I also got really lucky with the songs in the show. All of them are in my vocal range, and all the parts I sing by myself are really comfortable. I remember after we did the first scene, we worked on the scene in the subway station where the animals are looking for Marty. Melman just doesn't want to be there at all, and I say a few jokes. Most of my lines are jokes. So we find Marty, and he tells us that we need to chill out and stop panicking about the fact that he just left the zoo. The nerve! We all sing a song about not panicking and then get shot by animal control. Then we transition into this really druggy scene where we all are hallucinating since we've been tranquilized. The song is weird, but it's pretty good. We had these vertical planks of wood on wheels that acted as the backdrop for the zoo scenes, and when flipped around, they came together to make a mural of Madagascar for those scenes. And they also served as the dividers for our crates when we were on the boat being shipped to Africa. Also, around this point in the rehearsals, I was getting really comfortable with the cast. Last time when I made a video about Camp Rock, I talked for way too long about how awkward I was. I've never seen someone talk for so long about how bad they are at talking. I feel like some of that had to do with the fact that I hadn't really talked to people besides my family for the few months leading up to Camp Rock rehearsals resuming again, and I didn't really know a lot of the people in the show that well. This time things were different. I had kind of gotten reused to human interaction since Camp Rock, and since the cast was much smaller, it was easier to get to know everyone. I'm telling you, I actually said words. It was amazing! And I kind of prefer having a small cast. That means everyone's a lot closer, and we were all pals. And it's sad this show had to be pre-recorded, since it's kind of the perfect type of show to be performed live. Of course, it's a bummer when any show is not performed in front of a live audience, and I definitely felt that with Camp Rock, but it was much worse with this one. We blocked the scene where Alex wakes up on Madagascar, and I have to run in because there's seaweed on me and I'm screaming. It's one of my favorite parts of the show, actually. That whole scene transitions nicely into the song that King Julian sings about how amazing he is, and that song transitions nicely into Move It. Wait, huh? I didn't expect that song to be in there, even if it was in the movie, since it's an actual song. I didn't expect it to be in the musical, but it is. The lyrics aren't exactly the same, but it fits much better with the show. And everyone needs to calm down about how much of a workout move it is. It's not that bad. It's a little tiring, but it's nothing compared to the last song, Together Forever. I'll get to that. Story time. One fateful Friday night, I walked into the art center for rehearsal, got my temperature checked, and was informed that we might not have rehearsal that night. Uh-oh. It was all because a family member of one of the cast members tested positive for COVID. Uh-oh, the actor wasn't there, and within 15 minutes we were told that rehearsal was officially canceled. My mom had driven off by then. She left right after I went to the building. Uh-oh. We were asked to call our parents, so I went to pull out my phone, but of course I left it charging at my house. I never need it when I brought it to rehearsal, and now the first time I actually do need it, I don't have it. Of course the art center had a phone, but of course everyone needed it because everyone needed to go home. It didn't help that the process was being slowed since the phone needed to be wiped down in between everyone using it. When it came to my turn, I didn't really think about what I was going to say, and it went to voicemail, and everyone was looking at me, and I ended up spitting out something like, "Hey, rehearsal's canceled." Help. Looking back at it, it wasn't that bad. Everyone just kind of had to laugh about it. But in the moment, oh, it was so uncomfortable. About 15 minutes later, I was the last one still there. The director asked me if I should call my mom again. It went to voicemail again, and I said something normal that time, and then I tried my dad, no answer. Half an hour later, the director needed to go to another rehearsal for a different show she was a part of, and she invited me to come watch the rehearsal. It was We Are Monsters, grades 3 to 5, I think. It was great. I sat there awkwardly and watched. It was great. After a while, I went back up to the lobby since it was about the time that rehearsal would have ended if it had happened. My mom pulled up into the parking lot, and we went home. At least I got a story out of the experience. After Move It, we choreographed the big dance scene where everyone's partying while Alex is so hungry that he's being driven insane. The song is interesting since there's like 80 key changes, that's fun. But Alex bites Marty and he's banished to the Fusa side of the island. Oh, I forgot to mention the Fusa. The Fusa are the native carnivores to Madagascar and they eat the lemurs. Anywho, Marty wants to go after Alex even though he is 100% still bleeding out of his brand new bite mark. But Gloria and Melman say no, but right then, the penguins come back in the boat. They had their own little side quest and they're back to save the day. Melman suggests they go after Marty since he totally just ran after Alex when no one was looking. And Gloria goes, "Oh, Melman, you're acting so brave." That's the actual line. When we blocked that part, everyone just started laughing for no reason. I can't explain what happened. Anyway, Marty goes after Alex and they sing a reprise of a song about how they're best friends that they sang earlier. But oh no, the Fusa are back. Gloria and Melman run in and a fight breaks out. For a little bit, the fight is just dodging slaps, but then the choreographer asked me if I could do a little sweep kick on the ground. I thought she was joking. Nope. It took a little bit to get the hang of, and I still can't do it terribly well, but it worked. But after that, everyone comes back in and we sing Together Forever, the final song. It's one of the cheesiest endings I've ever seen, but I love it. It's easily my favorite song in the show, even if it isn't that fun to do. I love the dance, it's super fun, but it's a similar length to Move It. Remember when I said that Move It wasn't that tiring? That was fine since Move It was comfortable to sing. Together Forever is pretty high. Higher notes require more air, and when you're dancing, it's kind of hard to get more air, so by the end I was out of breath and I couldn't sing that well. After that, we do a reprise of Move It for literally no reason. I don't know why that's a part of the show. So we finished the show, and just in time for Tech Week. Of course, we had music days where we would all sit down and learn the singing parts, but was me describing that just now interesting to listen to? Tech Week totally snuck up on me. Tech Week? What are you talking about? We just started. So I went backstage excited to see what my costume was going to look like, and it is a costume. I didn't know I was supposed to come wearing khakis as the bottom of my costume, so I was half giraffe, half gray sweatpants. Tech was going to be the first time I really did the show start to finish. That was nerve-wracking. I was worried that I was going to be the one who messed it all up. I also thought I didn't know my lines for some reason. I knew them, but self-doubt is self-doubt. I also got my face paint done. I had giraffe spots on my forehead. I've always wanted to be a giraffe. It was a dream come true. So everything went well. This is my first time ever wearing a mic. First impressions? Negative. Itchy. Uncomfortable. Hated it. It was awesome. I don't really spend a lot of time backstage since I was out there most of the time. Second day of Tech was more of the same, except this time I had a headband with ears and ossicones. Day 2 generally went better than day 1, except my headband was so loose on my head and it kept falling off. I run around and lay down a lot in the show, so it just was bad. That continued on the third day of Tech, and I think this was the best run we did of the show besides the actual recording. Except halfway through, one of my ossicones fell off, so I was a unicorn for the rest of the show. But that Saturday, it was finally showtime. The recording went really well. A couple of people I knew from Camp Rock who were in the other cast came to help with the makeup for the 4 main animals. This time, my headband was attached to a comb. They stuck it in my hair and hairsprayed me to death, so it didn't move at all. The whole recording was fantastic. I jumbled up my words on one line, but it was fine. But other than that, fabulous. When I was going out for my bow, my headband got caught on the curtains, so it took me a little bit to get out there, but don't worry, I made it. After the show, when I took off my headband, my hair looked completely perfect. Oh. It took a while to get off all the yellow face paint with the makeup wipe, and I still didn't get it all off. After the show, we all went to this nearby Mexican place for dinner. It's kind of a tradition for after the show, we all go out to eat. But this is my first time actually doing it. For Nicholas Nickleby, we went to Waffle House. What? Who thought that would be a good idea? Waffle houses are small. Anyway, at the restaurant, we all exchanged numbers and created a group chat. The show was over. That was pretty redundant. The director asked me if I was planning to audition for the spring show for her. I said I was. That was kinda it. It was over so fast, and it was way sadder than Camp Rock, in a way that I just can't explain. But now I need to explain something to you. PSD, post-show depression. It also goes by PPD, post-play depression. PSS, post-show sadness. And PSS, BTSW, AMPOI, LFT, PFM. Post-show sadness because this show is a major part of your life for the past few months. As great as that is, I'm gonna go with PSD. PSD sucks. I hate it when the show ends, and this time PSD kicked in faster than ever. It was pretty much immediate, and it was way worse than ever before. But we still had to watch it, and the stream happened a week later. This is great! The sound quality and camera work were amazing this time. It was perfect. I think the mics went out at most twice. It was great. And everyone did such a good job. It was so fun to watch. And then it was over. For good. I don't know how it went so fast. Madagascar was awesome. It was easily the best cast I've been in, hands down. It was such a great thing to be a part of. The rehearsals were the highlight of my week. Every time I left, I wanted to go back. It's weird that I might not be in a show with these people for at least a while. They were such a phenomenal group. And even though masks and it being virtual hindered the show quite a bit, I don't care. I know I said Camp Rock was my favorite show, but it was only the second one I'd done, and there wasn't a lot of competition for it. And as great as Camp Rock was, Madagascar tops it by far. I'll never forget it. Madagascar was incredible, and I'm really gonna miss it. Hello, thank you for watching this video that I made. I know it seems like I just made a video about Camp Rock, at least to me, but you gotta remember that that video came out like a month after we actually did the show. This video is coming out a week after I watched it. It'll be until March or April until I do another one of these videos. I'm not in another show yet, obviously, but it'll be a few months. Normal movie/TV stuff will return, of course. And I don't normally ask this, but please comment below what you would like me to talk about next relating to movies or TV shows, because at the moment, I don't know what I want to do next. So I'll leave it to you guys. If there's a video about movies or TV shows that you would like to see from me, comment below. Oh, I'm gonna make a Spider-Man ranking all the Spider-Man movies. Just wait, it'll come out. That's about it. I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. This is Brannock from the Movie Fanatics, signing off.